Yeah, the quickest team meeting that I can remember.
Oh, here we go.
When I covered the 98 Yankees, that team, a lot of expectations. They had just traded for Chuck Knobloch. They got off to a bad start. They lost a couple of games, and then they had a team meeting in Seattle because Andy Pettitte didn't retaliate when some of the left-handed hitters were thrown at in their minds by the Mariners. And so Tino Martinez and others were upset about it, and I think they went on and won like 124 more games after that.
Yeah, not too bad. I think it turned out well for them. Gosh, 98 Yankees. Was 98 the year of the big brawl with the Orioles and Yankees too?
That was.
Gosh.
I think it was on May. Boomer pitched, David Wells pitched his perfect game on the 17th, and then they played the first game of the series against the Orioles on the 19th. Nastiest fight I ever saw in person.
Yeah, I remember I even talked to my dad about that, and I felt so bad. Apparently, Tino Martinez has been drilled by Armando Benitez, the closer, multiple times. And if I'm not mistaken, the batter before, it might have been Bernie, someone hit a go-ahead home run or something like that, and guess who's up next? Tino, 98, 99, right in the back, and then all hell breaks loose.
So, Ryan, I was covering the Orioles for the Sun the first time it happened. So, Tino was playing with the Mariners, and I think it might have been Edgar Martinez who hit a home run, and then Armando drilled Tino right in the back.
That's what it was. Yep.
Fast forward 3 years, they're in Yankee Stadium. Bernie hits the home run, and here comes Tino right in between the numbers at that time. And on the field, as that fight's breaking out, and it spilled over the Orioles dugout, the greatest brawler known to baseball, Alan Mills, just beat up Darryl Strawberry in the dugout. But you could tell, like B.J. Surhoff, your dad, and the others, they were apologizing to the Yankees because they knew. And Tino, the whole time he's being grabbed, he's going, twice you did that.
Yeah. And you know what? That was the thing too. And like, you laugh at it now. It's like, but man, poor Tino. And I actually got to know his son a little bit down in North Carolina. He was down in Chapel Hill, and I visited quite a bit down there. But it's funny how it all works out. And Armando Benitez is not a guy you want to mess with. Alan Mills is also not another guy you want to mess with. I think Rock actually has a question real quickly, Buster, before we get into some more baseball topics about along the lines of some stories.
Yeah, Buster, you talked about your time with the Sun, and I remember I've been covering the Orioles now for 2 years with Fox 45 here in Baltimore. And I think one of the first times I'm up in the press box, a foul ball comes back, and somebody told me along the lines of something happened with your laptop with a foul ball. And I don't know the depth of the story, but they were like, it was during Cal streak. And obviously we have Ryan here, but can you elaborate on that story a little bit for fans at home listening? What happened in that instance? Because foul balls come back there like crazy, man, and it is hard to get out of the way. So rest in peace to your laptop first and foremost. And yeah, would love to hear the story on that.
Yeah. So, and this is how legends sort of get formed. It wasn't my laptop. It was Ken Rosenthal's laptop. He wrote a column basically saying it was time for Cal to end the streak. That column came out that day. And that night, in his first plate appearance, Cal hit a foul ball back, destroyed Kenny's computer. That's when we knew that he had a direct line to the baseball gods, okay? There have been situations where we knew that, there have been conversations with the baseball god and Cal to get him back on the field, that sort of thing. But that was the ultimate, like the moment when everyone was like, wow, it was like out of the natural.
Were you sitting next to him when that happened?
No, that was before you know what? It might have been the year after I left the Sun. I went to the New York Times and I heard that story. My thing, and this is where it got confused, is Jorge Posada hit a foul ball back and it destroyed these binoculars that I had. And it's, what a good guy Posada was. When I told him about it with a laugh, he asked to replace him. Like, you don't need to do that.
Foul balls come back there at Camden Yards like it's so hard to get out of the way when they come back like whizzing past you, and like they've come up so many times when we're sitting up there in the press box, and I'm like fearing for my life. I'm like, if my laptop goes fine, but just don't hit me between the eyes, that'd be terrible.
Well, also watch the game, Rock. You can do that too.
I'm trying, but sometimes you're working on things. My bad.
Fair enough. You know what, though, is crazy in the minor leagues, the fact that they extended in the big leagues, but in the minors, they didn't extend the netting also, by the way, for fans. And looking at it now, I'm going, how the hell did we go so long with not having more netting for the fans, for the amount of people that don't pay attention? I hit a ball in low A, and I was a 2-strike count versus this lefty throwing 95 for the Phillies. It was the Blue Claws. I fouled a ball off, Buster, and it squares a kid in the head. It goes right over the dugout, and then they're calling him over, and I'm sitting there, and I am sick. And I'm thinking, this could have been prevented, and now I have to face this guy that almost drilled me 2 pitches before. I ended up getting out, and all I could think about was that little kid in the stands. Luckily, I checked in, everything was good, but I was like, holy shirts and pants. But it's crazy how differently it is now in this day and age of baseball. Gosh,
yeah.
Wow.
In my first year, my first 2 years of covering pro ball was actually covering the Nashville Sounds when I got out of college. And there was a foul ball. There was a guy on that team named Whitey Richardson who played briefly in the big leagues with the Pirates and the Reds. Great guy. And I think it was Darrell Hamilton. You guys remember, an outfielder. He just ripped a foul ball in the dugout. An ambulance had to come onto the field to take Whitey out of there. It was awful. And about 5 years ago, working on Sunday Night Baseball, I asked them to put up a net where I sit. And I had a couple of players give me a bad time. And I said, wait a second here. You guys now have netting in front of the dugout. You're giving me a hard time. And you guys are professionals. I'm just an idiot writer. Like, I'm going to be able to react to that.
Hey, know your limitations, right? You're trying to look out for yourself. And I'll be the same way. You're just trying to relax. I've almost been hit on the on-deck circle. There's so many things, let alone you're right. Even as a professional, your reaction time is sometimes not that quick.